How different have you found English football to that in Denmark?
Very. I had a very hard time when I first came over. The first few months we were 3 foreign players, and I was the one left out in most of the games, so I didn't play much in the first 5-6 months. Last season was a bit up and down. Started bad, got well, and suddenly you have one bad game, and everyone's blaming you for a few goals. But I came up again at the end of the season, and since that I feel quite comfortable with the English style of football. I've learned it now, I think.
What is it that you had to learn that was different from the Danish football?
It's a few things. It's not so much about tactic, English football. It's you put up a team, and if you're stronger than the team you're playing, you're winning the game. It's not so much about tactics. The pace of the game it's so much different. There's so much pressure on all the time. If you see continental football, the defenders always have got time to take the ball and move it forward, run it forward. There's no time for that here.
Certainly not much time for continental composure in another frantic derby game with Middlesbrough, this time in the league. Plenty of pressure though from United. Early optimism for Jim Smith that he might finally get a win in one of the North East derby matches at the 10th attempt. Borough often making problems for themselves as well in defence. Managing to survive. That one from Kevin Brock. And in the second half, it's much the same story. The ball still travelling towards the Borough goal. Some nice build-ups, but United repeatedly getting crowded out. And Pears doing everything he has to. Always plenty of red shirts back too. Roy Aitken tries to go over the top of them. Pears emerging as the man of the match. And Borough holding on.
Well, after just missing promotion to Division 1 last May, there were great expectations for this season, and it's not really gone as well as hoped, has it?
I mean, hopefully by the time the video's out, we're going to be a lot stronger position. Hopefully we're going to be sitting up towards the top of the league. I mean, obviously we've got to start getting results and getting points in the bag. But fortunately enough, with this 3-point system down here, once you win 2 or 3 games, things can change very, very quickly. And we've had a horrendous time since the start of the season, you know, with injuries and suspensions as well. So I'd like to think that that's in the past now, and that the players are going to start coming back, and we're going to have a full squad available for selection. But you're right, it has been a difficult start to the season, but there's a long, long way to go.
There's a lot of pressure too, isn't there, especially from the media?
Well, the fans and the press, obviously, as a club like Newcastle, which is such a big club, demand success, and the players demand success as well. I mean, we believe we're capable of playing in the first division. We believe we're good enough for the first division. We've got to show that on the park. Up until now, we haven't really done that this season. But I'd like to think we've got a squad strong enough. We believe we've got a squad strong enough to get to the first division. Unfortunately, we missed out, last year, virtually the last kick of the ball. So I'd like to think this year, although we've had a difficult start, we're going to be competing for the top 3 places, automatic places to get into the first division. Because a club like Newcastle needs first division football.
Yeah. Well, 3 days after the Middlesbrough League game, it's Pompey who come visiting. Plenty of work for their defence to do. We're in danger of getting punch drunk for a while. Big day, of course, for Mick Quinn. Everybody likes playing against their old club and scoring against them. Gosnay denies him this time. But everything comes to those who wait. and Quinney just has to be patient. Build-up coming all the way out of defence, and Portsmouth unable to get the ball away. Quinn himself chases it down towards the corner flag. Kevin Brock just about keeping his feet in difficult conditions, and that's Quinn's great moment. It was May in the Pompey defence who was supposed to be marking him, but a super finish. United managing to play some good football in the very difficult windswept conditions. And not much wrong with that finish either. Quinn again, 2-0. Touch of the Malcolm MacDonald's about that one. And he's got some ideas about a hat-trick as well. Deserved it really, didn't he? One nasty moment before the end. Driven cross from the left. John Anderson unable to get out of the way of it. But it finishes 2-1 for a welcome first win in 5 games.
Yeah, not a particularly good first half of the season.
No, we've been very unfortunate with injuries and suspensions. But I think once all that's cleared up, it'll be a completely different story in the new year.
We were saying that Sunderland were in a similar situation last season, coming up to Christmas. So obviously promotion is still very much in the air.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, as you say, Sunderland were in exactly the same position. They finished 6th in the 2nd division and then ended up playing in the 1st division. So we've still got an awful lot to play for.
Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there.
That's right, yeah. What about the first half of the season? What's been the highlights for you?
Not a lot. It's just been fits and starts in games, and from one week to the next. Just to be glad to get this year out the way, and let's get going into the new year with everybody fit and raring to go.
The turn of the new year, does that give you an added impetus?
I think so. I mean, everybody, once you get into the new year, everybody looks towards the end of the season, looking towards promotion, playoffs if it need be, but our main aim really is just to get back in the 1st division.
What about the season so far for you, your highlights?
The highlights have been all the injuries and suspensions that we've had. We've been, as I said earlier, very unfortunate with injuries and suspensions. We've played well in patches of games, but we've never really stuck it together for 90 minutes. And I think once everybody's fit, we can look forward to the way we played last year.
Yeah, the goals don't seem to have flowed quite the same way, do they?
No, I mean, it's been very difficult for the lads up front because they've been playing with different people week in, week out, and very hard to get an understanding because Mickey's been suspended and Mark's had a pelvic strain that's been hindering them a bit. So once the two of them get back together, I think they'll score us plenty of goals again.
What about the defence?
What about it?
Well, you haven't let that many goals in, have you, really? I mean, it's been odd goals that have pipped you and things like that.
It's the whole team. It's patching it up, and one week to the next we don't know who's going to be fit and who's, like we worked a couple of weeks ago and things, and there's nothing like the side that we were working on. So it's just a case of grinning, bearing it, and getting on with it.
So really, it's a good thing that you've got as many points as you have, because when you do get your full team out, one could expect things to happen.
Well, I think that's what we've got to be judged on, is when we get everybody fit and everybody's raring to go, and the competition for places is there, and you'll see a marked difference.
Do you think the fans will be patient enough for this?
It's a case of having to be, isn't it? We're giving them nothing to cheer about at the moment, but as I say, it's we'll be judged on how we perform with a full side. We finished 3rd last year. That'd get us promotion this year. So we're just hoping things will turn out for the good.
The injury problem's certainly still there as Middlesbrough return in the Rumbelows. United, remember, 2-0 down from the first leg at Ayresome Park. Badly needing an early goal, of course, in this situation. But it doesn't come quite early enough. Middlesbrough, with that 2-goal cushion, can afford to sit back and counter-attack. Wayne Faraday on a rare appearance, getting United going. It's John Anderson who'll get the opportunity to make up his own goal, blasting in the rebound off Kernaghan. Off the thigh and wallop. Things beginning to go wrong for United though, with Mick Quinn sent off by referee George Courtney after a clash with the goalkeeper Stephen Tears. And a bizarre incident coming up in which Borough thought they'd got another goal. Well, Budgie was convinced it wasn't over the line. Fortunately, Mr. Courtney agreed. Increasing desperation into the second half. United throwing more and more men forward. But time running out now. Darren Bradshaw, the last opportunity. Tears keeps it out. And Borough are saved from extra time.
You say that you haven't really hit top form, you've never had the right team to play. Have there been any high moments that have pleased you, where you've said, "Oh yes, I like that. We've achieved something there"?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, on a few occasions in this early part of the season, but we were labelled last year the same, and we're still a little bit the same. Is inconsistent. I mean, we played Middlesbrough, and as I say, we had 10 men after 30 minutes. Mickey Quinn got sent off in the League Cup, 1-0 up. We were at that stage. Felt we looked really like we were going to win, and they're one of the better teams in the division, and we played extremely well. And I thought, that's it, here we go, we're on our way. Obviously, that wasn't the case. We went down at Oxford on the Saturday, and we got a draw with a very poor performance. We haven't hit any peak at all. Having said that, we've never had the same team. We've had to change the team every game. We haven't, and that's not by design, just been enforced upon us.
Yeah, I don't really know.
What have been the main problems?
We've had what I would call more than our fair share of muscle injuries. Like I say, 5 times as many as last year altogether so far. So there has got to be some sort of problem there. And then we've had a whole range of problems from John Gallagher's shin, stress fracture, come sort of a compartment syndrome injury. It's called. It's very sort of sounds technical, but basically it's more like a runner's injury than a footballer's injury. And then we've had a hernia, we've had a couple of fractures, and we've had a couple of operations as well, knee operations. So we've it's just been right across the board really. Then you pick up like a couple of back problems on the way, and a couple of foot problems, and you've sort of got the whole sort of range really, where you have normally, say mainly lower leg injuries. We've had sort of the whole body involved.